أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And this is the best of time for us to kickstart this occasion. Having said this, permit me to very quickly call on a volunteer in our midst to seek the blessings of the Almighty for us, so that Allah will shower His blessing upon us. Can we please have a volunteer?
Sallu ala Nabi. We seek for the intervention of Almighty Allah to continue to guide the society to the right path, as well as to protect the society against any calamity. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
May the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our prayers. Our special guest of honor here present, our own, who has been justifying the confidence reposed in him by the present administration of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, Abba Kabir Yusuf, and particularly referring to the Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Information, Honorable Ibrahim Abdullahi Waya. The President of this noble profession and indeed society, our mentor, quite respected, and indeed someone to cherish anytime, anywhere, Professor Omar A. Pate, and the Vice Chancellor of Kashiri University. The Zonal Vice President, Northwest Zone, Ado Seidu Warawa. The Zonal Vice President, North Central, Alaji Ismail Turaki. The National Financial Secretary, Mr. Festus Kehinde. The representative of the Vice Chancellor of our own, one of the most famous university across the universities we have in the shores of Nigeria, Bayero University, Kano. Mr. Call it those days, Booktown, Book City. Ably represented by Professor of Repute, Professor Ahmed Mohamed Sauni. A veteran broadcast journalist, and Amiz, my boss, my mentor, my mother in the profession, who has taught me a lot. Respect you so much, Haji Asai Ibrahim Magashi. The entire ESCO members of this present society in Kano. Our mentor within the shores of Bayero University, Kano, former HOD with the Department of Mass Communication, former Commissioner Farouk Umar, also the entire lecturers within the shores of the Faculty of Mass Communication, Bayero University, Kano, here present. The entire managing directors, including myself and others who are here, and the general managers of various stations of government and private organizations here present. Former NUJ President Abbas Ibrahim, entire inductees, and all others who are here, colleagues in the broadcast journalism professions who are here, I once again say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Having said this, broadcasting thrives when professionalism upholds the highest standards of ethics, integrity, and indeed excellence to serve the public interest. A strong and indeed people always believe in the ethics of the profession, and indeed the industry is thriving today across Nigeria. That is why we're having quite a number of various stations of radio and televisions, including the social media platforms that are thriving. And today, Mr. President and Honorable Commissioner, sir, we're all out to champion a cause of promoting professionalism, ethics, and excellence in broadcasting through the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, which is indeed a right choice in the right direction. And thereafter, we shall also witness an inductions of various young, vibrant, determined, and focus members of the broadcast journalism across Kano who are so much interested today to be part of this great history in the making. And this symbolizes a lot of good things that will come ahead in our future. Having said this, I don't want to bore you much. Shall we, on this note, put our hands together as I invite the Zonal Vice President, Northwest Zone, who has been doing very, very well, justifying the confidence reposed in him as the Zonal Vice President, to please come and officially welcome all of us. Alhaji Ado Saidu Warawa. Please, a round of applause for him.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let me stand on the existing protocol, a very long one, very inclusive one, so that we save time. I want to welcome everybody that comes here to witness the extension of the last induction ceremony we had here in Kano. Today we are expecting to induct about 150 candidates, broadcasters who are joining this society today. If you could remember, the last time we had program at Kano State Government House, over 70 inductees were inducted on that day. Today we are graciously inducting about 150, sponsored by Kano State Government through Kano State Commissioner of Information and Internal Affairs, Comrade Ibrahim Abdullahi Weya. So I welcome everybody here. I wish everybody a safe journey back home. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Having heard from him, we'll go straight to also lend our ears to someone who has wears a very big cap, but we believe that he's equal to the task within the shores of the academians. And I'm referring to no one else but the man who wears the cap of the Vice Chancellor of the Bahrain University, Kano, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics, Professor Ahmed Mohamed Sauni.
Bismillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. The Honorable Commissioner of Information, Kano State, the President, Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, our own, the Vice Chancellor, Federal University Kashere, Professor Omar Pate, other members of the association, colleagues awaiting to be inducted, other invitees, ladies and gentlemen, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Haruna Musa, FSI, who is currently attending another important function in the university, hosting a powerful delegation of a Chinese team for interface, along with other 8 universities in the northern Nigeria and 2 from southern Nigeria, to discuss an important collaboration leading to strengthening teaching, learning, and research in our respected universities. It is in view of this that he was not able to be with you here, and as a result, he asked me to represent him. I'm indeed delighted to be here to attend this very important activity of Nigerian Society of Broadcasters. It is very well known fact that broadcasting, journalism, among others, are very central to development. As development economist, I really see it as a very integral component of our survival. Policies need to be communicated. Decisions need to be widely communicated. Inputs need to be called upon. Feedbacks need to equally be communicated. Views need to be aired. Voices need to be heard. And therefore, Communication is central to politics, economy, social, religion, whatever you can think of. Broadcasters are very central to the life of all governments, institutions, MDS, society, and the general public. In what respect, or whatever respect you think of. The Honorable Commissioner, other distinguished members, the association is really doing well. Looking at the number of inductees queuing up to be inducted and those in the past, in view of its mentoring, I believe it is doing well, and I will use this opportunity to encourage the association to continue mentoring younger broadcasters in line with the theme and sub-theme of the conference, or rather the induction activity, instilling ethics and professionalism. These are some of the issues that we need to be integrated or strengthened in the heart and mind of our broadcasters. Ethics, professionalism, broadcasting for development. We really have to appreciate the association for its contribution to healthy reporting, contributing to healthy opposition in the politicking and other things. Equally assisting in societal development, where the downtrodden people have access and opportunity to equally contribute or say out their minds. Ladies and gentlemen, Bayero University Kano, as we all know, is the hub of communication. It's a university with a very vibrant faculty that produce numerous well-known personalities that have contributed and are equally contributing to the development of broadcasting and communication or journalism generally. And we know any policy, any decision without you people is not going to make any impact. So we call on you to really contribute more in communicating decisions, in communicating ideas, policies, and what have you, that will go a long way in galvanizing our efforts toward developing our dear nation. I will not sit down until when I communicate equally to the gathering that Bayero University, as the third best university in Nigeria, is really doing well in contributing in this regard by being a broadcaster friendly. It is a university with a radio station and a TV station that are doing very well in terms of serving as a training ground and equally serving as promoting the development of our nation in that regard. On this note, I want to use this opportunity to congratulate those colleagues that are going to be inducted today, to congratulate the association for doing well in terms of ensuring ethics and professionalism, as well as to call on them to do more. In Bayero University, Kano, our doors are open to all the support and collaboration, as well as the partnership we require toward really improving the association and engendering societal impact. On that note, I congratulate the inductees, I congratulate the association, and I wish you a successful activity.
Shall we please appreciate it the more by giving him another round of applause. Very incisive delivery that really captured the minds of everyone, I believe. Having heard from him, this brings us to where we shall also listen to a very passionate person who has been so committed to people and their environment, a committed member of the society, someone who has achieved so much as one of those whose names ring a bell when you talk about non-governmental organizations across Kano and Nigeria at large. with a very tremendous contribution that bettered the life of so many people. No doubt, when the administration of Abba Kabir Yusuf came on board, decided, out of knowing fully the contribution of the person in Kano and Nigeria at large, decided to bring him as one of the members of the cabinet with a very mighty position to shoulder on him where broadcasting, journalism set a pace. The person in question, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, out of the passion he has in the broadcast journalism, when he came on board, a lot of people, rumors, insinuations, and a lot of issues going around the corner in Kano, that is it the right person to be on that exact position? Knowing fully well what has been going around, the person in question says, I'm determined and focused, and I will leverage on what the immediate first commissioner in that ministry does. No doubt from that day up to today, even a blind man can feel the impact of the Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Information, does across, and I believe what we're even witnessing today is part of the contribution he has been putting to better the life of the existing broadcast journalism in Kano and Nigeria. Is someone to be proud of. Is someone to always rally around and associate with him. Please put it off as we listen to the Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Information, my brother, Ibrahim Abdullahi Waya.
I guess this kind of accolades should go to maybe people like Hajjasa Ibrahim, Professor Umar Patti, Professor Farouk Umar, because they are the ones that deserve this. We are trying to do the little we could. Thank you very much. The President, Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, Professor Umar Patti, Professor Ahmad Mohamed Sauni, a very good friend, and Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics, Bayero University, Kano, Malang Adu Said Wara, the Vice President, Northwest, and the Dean, Faculty of Communication, Bayero University, Professor Farouk Umar, and a former Commissioner of Information and Internal Affairs. Other distinguished personalities present here, particularly and especially the heads of the media organizations, distinguished members of the press, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. It is with a great sense of joy, humility, and responsibility that I welcome you all to this historic occasion, the special membership induction ceremony of the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters for 151 broadcasters from across Kano broadcasting organizations operating in the state. This event is indeed special to me, not because my ministry is privileged to sponsor and host it in my capacity as the Honorable Commissioner of Information and Internal Affairs, but also because I feel largely relieved, as we have set the ball rolling towards performing one of our obligations, which is to support our practicing journalists to attain professional height through registration with all professional bodies in the media industry to ensure ethical, lawful, and efficient practice in the journalism industry. I am happy and proud to witness this historic occasion in my capacity as the Commissioner for Information and Internal Affairs, as over 150 broadcast journalists shall in few minutes be inducted as members of the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, a development which shall stand as a symbolic representation of our collective commitment to professional transformation in the field of journalism practice in Kano State. Let me use this medium to express our immense appreciation to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, Abba Kabir Yusuf, for his commitment to human capital development and for graciously approving and sponsoring the registration of the broadcast journalists and the conduct of this induction program. This just clearly demonstrated his steadfastness in leadership and a clear indication of the significance his administration places on professionalism and institutional development. To the National President and members of the National Executive Council of the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, we are deeply honored by your presence and sincerely thank you for traveling far from a far distance to conduct this special exercise. Your coming here signifies a recognition of Kano State's place in the growing landscape of broadcast journalism in Nigeria, and we shall remain grateful for your support and partnership. Permit me to, at this juncture, once again, note that since the inception of the administration with His Excellency, Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf, he has remained committed to the improvement of the well-being of the citizens and the holistic development of the state. This is because this has been achieved through the initiation and implementation of people-centered policies, impactful programs, and transformative projects across all sectors, from infrastructure to education to healthcare, youth empowerment, and economic development. The government has continued to demonstrate that public service must be driven by compassion, purpose, and should be result-oriented. In the same vein, the government shall continue to remain deeply committed to ensuring peace, law, and order across every nook and cranny of the state. Special attention has equally been given to the fight against insecurity such as phone snatching, thuggery, drug abuse, and other social biases as the most disturbing criminal activities that threaten the moral fabrics and safety of our communities. Through strategic policy responses, community engagement, and collaboration with security agencies, the administration is working tirelessly to restore sanity and protect the lives and dignity of our people, especially the youth. The security and general well-being of Kano people should continue to remain critical in the design of all our development agendas. The state government will continue to pursue it a real vigor, commitment, and all seriousness. Let me also remind you that the decision to formally register our broadcast journalists as members of the prestigious Society of Nigerian Broadcasters from both government and private sector is a bold step towards supporting the entrenchment of professional practice, standardized broadcast culture, and strategic stakeholder engagement across all strata of government in Kano State. It is our belief that broadcast media practice must be handled not only with skills, but also with precision, with integrity, legality, and professionalism, values that the SNB upholds. At this juncture, permit me to underscore a critical point. As broadcasters working in both state government-owned media and that of the private media organization working in Kano, it is imperative that we master and deploy modern strategies to amplify the laudable projects, programs, and policies of the government. Equally important is our role in gathering, interpreting, and transmitting the feedback, concerns, and aspirations of the people back to the government. This way communication approach is central to promoting good governance, inclusivity, and people-driven policies. Indeed, effective broadcast practice strengthens trust between government and the governed, enhances transparency, and positions the public service as responsive and accountable. To my fellow industrics, I say congratulations. This is not a mere ceremony, but a call to duty. As certified members of SNB, we must uphold the ethics of our noble profession, champion a responsible journalism practice, and serve as credible bridges between government and the people. Finally, I welcome you all once again to Kano, the Center of Commerce, History, and Hospitality. I hope you enjoy not only this occasion, but also the warm culture and spirit of our people. Thank you, and God bless you.
I believe, Mr. President, other distinguished guests who were the inductees, the Honorable Commissioner, deserve more resounding applause than what we did. It does it as expected. Thank you so much. It's quite gratifying. Having heard from him, this brings us to where I shall crave the indulgence, but more especially the inductees, to pay more and more attention because we get to where it matters the more, where we shall hear from the horse's mouth, the man who holds the ace, a father, a committed member of the society, a man that has been so workaholic without being tired, a man who is always on the move, an educationist par excellence, who has demonstrated the understanding of the importance of acquiring knowledge. That person is someone that when you meet him, he tells you the facts. There is no way you could meet him and you will not benefit from his wealth of knowledge and experience. He is indeed a great mentor that mentors a 10, 100, 1,000, millions, trillions, and indeed you can name it. This is someone that today, out of all what he has witnessed in his life trajectory, his people says, come back to us and give back to the society. He is today the Vice Chancellor of one of the best private government-owned university. We call it Kashiri. And the man is so gentle, so respected, so agile, determined and focused. Please, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, put it up for the president of this noble profession, Professor Umar A. Pate, as we listen to him. Thank you, sir.
The Honorable Commissioner for Information, Barrister Waya, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academics, Bayero University, Kano, Professor Sauni, the Dean, Faculty of Communications, senior officers of the SNB, Hajia Sa'a, the matron of the association, of the society. You remember in those days in secondary school, we used to have matrons, especially in the guest hostels. She is our matron. Distinguished media managers. In Kano, we have media managers, not media damagers. In some other places, you have damagers, not managers. Former NUJ Chair, Alaji Abbas, distinguished broadcasters, our distinguished inductees, our dear grad students of Bayero University, Kano, friends of SNB, as well as friends of our inductees, good morning. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to this very important event. Let me start by appreciating the efforts of the Kano State Government in single-handedly sponsoring the induction of 151 professional broadcasters in the state. This is the first and profoundly remarkable, indicating the interest of the state government in sustaining professionalism in its communication industry. I'm aware not long ago, some members were also inducted on the sponsorship of the state government in the NIPR. This is an indication that when you have an individual with civil society background, with activism, and above all, with competence and confidence in what he does, then you are set to move towards the right direction. As we could see, Barrister Waya is not behaving like a typical bureaucrat or civil servant. He is thinking out of the box, and thinking out of the box means being a real information commissioner. And when we say information, professionally, we are talking about reducing uncertainty, connecting, sharing, as well as networking. And these are all elements that we see them be manifested in the way Barrister Wire is managing the information subsector in Kano. You can be sure in SNB you have a partner that is aptly willing to support the establishment, enthronement, and sustenance of credibility in the broadcasting content of Kano media organizations. Let me at this point also commend and thank the Bayero University Authority, specifically the Vice Chancellor, as ably represented by his deputy, Professor Auni. The VC is communication friendly, is a broadcaster in spirit, even if not in profession. He has been quite supportive, even before becoming the Vice Chancellor of this university, in the affairs of our broadcast station, the Kano TV, the BUK TV and BUK Radio. These stations are working as they should, of course, with the support of the authorities. Mr. DVC, sir, please convey our appreciation to the Vice Chancellor for giving us this venue free of charge, as well as honoring us with your representation. I know for all the occasions that we have organized in the Faculty of Communication, the VC was always there. It must have been out of very, very tight schedules that he could not make it physically. But your representation is sufficiently enough, and we appreciate him, we appreciate you, and we urge him to continue to do more. In broadcasting, our affairs are always open. While some people try to hide what they do, in our business we open what we do. And we shall continue to act as the PR wing of this university wherever we find ourselves and in whatever we do. You could see how the rating of BUK has been improving since the establishment of our BUK TV and BUK Radio. Today, this university is rated third on the ranking of universities in Nigeria. Like I tell my people, BUK could be the greatest, but Kashere is the university of first choice in Nigeria. So here you could see. And our hope is that BUK will also be the greatest, as well as the university of first choice for any parent and for any student in this country. Now, Kano State, perhaps after Lagos and possibly Abuja, has the largest number of broadcast radio stations. And this has its own history. The first radio station in Kano was as far back as in the 1940s. And our people, by their nature, are broadcast friendly. If you understand the culture of people in northern Nigeria, we are orally oriented. We speak more, we listen more, and write less. And you could understand why radio has remained a prominent instrument. It's quite central in the affairs of our people from time immemorial. And so having 35 radio stations in Kano should not look surprising. But the problem with number is the more the number, sometimes the lower the quality. And this is where the challenge is. At different fora, I've said it and I will still repeat it, Kano is likely to have this number of radio stations. There are accusations at times that in Kano, ethics in the content of broadcasting are abused. Ethics are violated. I am a keen listener, especially to some of the politically oriented programs in Kano, just sometimes to laugh. Not because I believe in what some of them say, but just to get entertained. It has its own positive value. And it is only in Kano, I challenge any state, I repeat, any state, where you could hear all sorts of views, where names of senior government officials, starting from the top to the lowest, could be mentioned and be damned by individuals who are inconsequential. Yet, nothing happens. It's only in Kano, where even in the state-owned radio stations, you could hear a variety of opinions. Because failure to reflect that will mean loss of revenue. Perhaps the Kano commercial spirit has so much invaded the broadcast media organizations that it is in a way also becoming a significant element of plurality in the content of what we do. And that is what people want. They want to hear varieties. Even in food, you want to eat different things. And it has reached a point that people no longer even bother. They just want to listen. And that has also in a way become therapeutic, because instead of people fighting with arms, instead of people locking somewhere to hit at each other, they go to the radio station and hit at themselves. And then they end up saying, Wallahi, naje radio naga musu tunanina. Shikenan, you have said you are on, the next minute, another one will also come. After all, the radio stations are making money. So they make their airwaves, even if unethically, available to those who are willing to pay. So this is where issue of management comes in. It could be very easy for the government to close down, to lock up, to arrest, but at the end of the day, of what consequence will that be? Is it going to have any impact on the peaceful coexistence of people in Kano or not? So I must commend the state government for being extremely tolerant, for being quite accommodating, and we could see how the flowers of ideas are blossoming in the context of Kano. This is a lesson that many other states should be able to learn. It does not mean simply because APC is the ruling party, every idea must be APC. Allow the others also to do it. After all, broadcasting is a trust in the hands of those who are managing it. If a medical doctor makes a mistake, perhaps one patient may suffer for it. But if a broadcaster makes a mistake, the entire society will pay for it. So we need to understand the responsibility attached to the kind of work that we do. And this is why we are worried about issue of credibility, issue of professionalism, issue of ethics in the content of what we deliver to the public. Please excuse me, Aliyu. Aliyu, wait. Let's wait. Hold on. In the context of what we do. And SNB today is rising to the challenge. It's not something that we are going to address in a day in a country of 230-something million people, but with broadcasting stations that are over 1,000. But an attempt is being made in several ways. One, through the academic system, broadcasting has become a full degree program in our universities today. The NUC has approved, universities are offering, and on many campuses you have departments of broadcasting. This is an indication that we are trying as much as we could to intellectualize the practice of broadcasting, professionalize far more than what we have been having in this country. Number two, societies like the Nigerian Society of Broadcasters are becoming stronger. We are not into unionism. Ours is strictly on professional aspects of broadcasting and related aspects. NUJ is there for unionism. Ratau is there for unionism. But SNB is strictly for the professional aspect of it. Our business is to promote, protect, and project the business of broadcasting in the Nigerian context, and also ensure that broadcasting in Nigeria operates in line with globally acceptable standards, especially in the digital era, where the landscape of communication globally is changing very fast. And anybody who makes the mistake of remaining not connected, certainly he will be consigned into the dustbin of history and become irrelevant in the business of his or her own profession. So our challenge in SNB is one, how do we ensure that our broadcasters are professionally equipped, fully prepared to be able to operate as digital broadcasters who can connect with the audiences and still remain relevant? How can they be credible? When you talk of credibility in communication, you are talking about 4 fundamental issues: truthfulness, competence, relevance, and dynamism. These are elements that our broadcasters must have in them, in spirit, in practice, and in whatever they do. This is what will attract respect for us. Without it, we'll only be operating as institutions that people may not believe in. And the entire thing about broadcasting is built on trust, is built on responsibility, is built on knowing what we need to do to ensure the society remains safe. If we produce content that at the end of the day leads to chaos, destruction, bloodshed, and complete breakdown of law and order in society, tomorrow you may not have a space where to practice that broadcasting. Therefore, we must be responsible. As they say, power without responsibility is always dangerous. You could have the microphone in front of you. You could have the intelligence. You could have the ability to say whatever you want. Nobody is going to caution you. But at the end of the day, if the content or the delivery that you have made has led to the loss of one single life, remember you are going to account to your Creator, even if you don't account to someone on earth. Therefore, you have a responsibility, personal responsibility, structural responsibility, psychological responsibility, and contextual responsibility. You must think of that. Somebody could give you money, go and destroy Mr. A or Mr. B. Remember, you are going to account for it. Even if you don't account to man, you are going to account to God. It's just a matter of time. Therefore, we must be responsible to be able to remain relevant in the minds of people. Ethics is not something new. Ethics is something that is built based on the standards in our religions, in our society, in our culture. I don't think there's any society or any community in Nigeria that says go and steal. No community in Nigeria says go and lie. No community in Nigeria says go and involve yourself in misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation, rumor mongering, lies, and distribution of stories that you are not sure of. There is no culture in Nigeria, to the best of my knowledge, and I've done quite some work on freedom of perspective of freedom of expression among some ethnic groups in Nigeria, at least for the one that I have studied and I've written. Then there's no culture also says go and steal. There's no culture that also says go and collect money for work that you did not do. And we can go on. And if you look at the ethics of broadcasting, either from the International Federation of Journalists or the International Organization of Broadcasters or our own NUJ, our own press council or the NBC, there's nowhere on their ethical courts where it is said go and lie. In our religions, there's none, to the best of my knowledge, that says go and lie. In Islam, it's very, very clear. Repeatedly in the Quran and our Hadith, it has also been clearly stated, you should not lie. And for Christianity, it's very clear among the 10 commandments, thou shalt not lie. Now, ethics means it's not something that is foreign to us. It is derived from what we know, from what we practice, and from what we believe. Therefore, as a broadcaster, what is your level of understanding of these issues that I've just talked about from your religious perspective? How does it look as a father in the house? You tell your children, you command your wife, you should not be lied to. Your children should not tell lies. Then you go to a radio station with your pen, consciously sit in front of a microphone, face millions of people, and lie to them. Then you come back to the house. Certainly, you are going to have what we call cognitive dissonance. And when you have cognitive dissonance plus cognitive consonance, you are going to remain permanently uncomfortable in your mind. And that is what also leads to madness. So This is why sometimes many of us have to drink a lot of beer to be comfortable in the mind. It's not because of pressure of work, but because of the conflicts and the kind of dissonance we cause from what we believe and what we do. Therefore, as a broadcaster, you need to remember these elements. Ethics is extremely important and central to what we do. People believe your content based on the trust they have given to you. But if the trust is there and you lie to them once, you lie to them twice, you lie to them thrice, they won't allow you to lie to them for the fourth time. As it is often said, if you make the first lie, I could take it as a mistake. The second lie, I will not believe you. The third lie, if I believe you, then I become a compound fool. If I believe you the second time, I'm a fool. If I believe you the third time, I'm a compound fool. And of course, I will not want to remain a fool simply because of the kind of lies that you disseminate to me. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, being a broadcaster is an honorable job. If you are looking for money, don't be a broadcaster, don't be a teacher. But again, like I tell my colleagues, on the day I signed to be a teacher in a university in 1987, I told myself I'm not signing treaty with poverty. I reject it, and I'm lucky poverty has not been in my portion so far. Therefore, as a broadcaster, tell yourself that by being a broadcaster, you are not signing treaty with poverty. You are not going to retire looking wretched and miserable. There are several ways you can also live a very respectable life using your own talent. Therefore, what are the other ways that you can make money without turning yourself into a beggar, without turning yourself into a blackmailer, without turning yourself into a misinformation manager? You don't have to lie. There are multiple ways by which you can also become relevant and make resources for yourself. One, you must be digitally equipped. No two way about this one. Any broadcaster who is not digitally competent, who does not have a laptop, that broadcaster should consider himself an outdated broadcaster. It means you are not part of the business. You are only supporting the active broadcasters. You have to invest in your capacity. You must have a laptop, and you shouldn't wait for your manager to give you. You must have it. And having it means also knowing how to handle it. You must be connected. There are plenty of resources. Number two, being digitally equipped is not enough, but you must also be intellectually active. The difference between a broadcaster and a teacher is that as a teacher, I have a small classroom. As a broadcaster, you have the whole of Kano as your class. You are teaching everybody. And what do we say? We entertain, we educate, we inform. If you are not informed, how can you inform? If you are not educated, how can you educate? And if you are not the humorous type, how can you entertain? You are always looking so serious that you don't even smile. Some of us smile occasionally. We only smile when we get alerts. Not even to our wives. It should not be so. Therefore, we must be ahead of our listeners. For you to educate, you must be educated. You must be ahead of an average listener of your radio station. Any topic you are going to handle, you must be ahead. Which means we have to read. But the question is, how many of our radio stations even have libraries? Again, these days, you don't even need libraries. With the internet, everything is there. It means you must provide academic, or what we call intellectual and societal leadership. So it's a challenge for people, for your programs to be relevant. There are some radio stations in Kano here. I listen to almost every radio stations. But there are some programs, the moment I go there, there's nothing new, there's nothing fresh. I just move on. Even from the pronunciations, even from the simple presentation of what they call on-air personalities. You know, some of them are not equipped. Some of them, what they do is they terrorize your ears. Some of them end up damaging the little that you know. They poisoned the little education that you already know. So you become confused whether to believe what you know or to believe what they are telling you. This should not be our duties. We should not be broadcasters of misinformation. And again, this is the era of hate speech. Many of us have listened to many engage in what we call dangerous and hateful speech without even knowing that we are doing so. It's very thin, the line between offensive, dangerous, and hate speech. And many of us engage in that through careless use of language, through poor selection of words. And this is not deliberate, but is product of ignorance and lack of education in what we do. This is why training and retraining must remain a continuous business in what we do, because we are teachers. Every day, as a producer of a program, weekly program, every day you must add something new into the minds of people. So what is your own source of knowledge? How many books do you read in a week? Even newspapers you don't buy. So what is your source of knowledge? The last time some of us read any book was when we were degree students, when we were writing the final exams. Since then, you have never ever taken your money or walked into any bookshop to buy a single book and say, let me read. Reading has become, you have become allergic to reading. Now, what is your source of knowledge? You don't listen to other radio stations or to other international radio stations. You don't listen to lectures from eminent scholars. You don't even meet people to sit and talk. You belong to circles that you are senior to. You only go to people where they can press you. Yesterday, I was listening to one radio station with some of my friends. And the presenter came. In less than 1 minute, he called his name more than 4 times, advertising his personality that he is now on duty. Honestly. And that is not what you should do. A broadcaster is humble. Let people know you by your work, not by the noise you make and praising yourself. Whom the hell are you? Are you the most educated? Are you the most intelligent? Are you the most what? You are just doing a job like any other teacher. So, and teachers are supposed to be humble for them to be respected. Let people know you by the quality of what you deliver, not by the quality of how many times you have called your name while you are on air. Ai ni ne yanzu ni na karbi wannan abun, ni ne kaza kaza, ni ne wane naku. Ya sake ni ne naku. So say me mun ji kai ne namu, say me. I will not call the name of the radio station, but I think he took over around 5. I think he's the shift. He was from 5 or from 6 to close down of the station. And he was reminding us he will be with us until the time when the station will be closed. So all these kind of things, we need to read. Let us, anytime you open your mouth, let the public gain from what you are going to say. Your duty is to increase the level of knowledge, add onto the competence, make people to be cognitively and affectively equipped with the right knowledge. And that is what our duties should be. But all of these things will not happen except if we are ethically guided, if we know what we are supposed to do, and we understand the context where we are operating, especially in the era of AI. It's very easy to go to AI, copy what you have, and come and talk. But remember, AI can only provide answers to what you have asked. But the issue of context, the issue of relevance, the issue of emotional connection are lacking in AI. As a teacher, once I see any AI thinking, I know. The moment you see unwavering commitment, you know this is coming from AI. The moment you see certain words, you know they are coming from AI. But I'm not telling you don't use AI. This is the era of AI. You have to use it. But use it knowing that it does not have emotion. You should add it. And broadcasting involves emotion, even the way you use your tongue. It's not mechanical. 2, know that you are supposed to provide context to whatever you have received from AI. There are certain details that AI will never ever give you. It must come from you. AI does not have human feelings. It must come from you. You must know what to use and what not to use. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me once again thank the Kano State government for being the first in the country to sponsor 151 broadcasters, which is a significant indication that the state government is interested in developing professionals that will man the different sectors of the society. And this is not, so SNB is just one. I'm quite aware of several other organizations that the state government has supported. I'm not a politician, but where you see something creditably happening, you must acknowledge it and encourage those who are doing it to do more. I hope other state governments will also take some lessons from what is happening here. But for everything to happen, there must be a source, there must be a link. Other ministries are not doing what is happening in the information subsector. After all, information gets the little or the least of all the budgets. Yet, our duty is to promote visibility in what we do. And where, being the commissioner, has justifiably shown that with action, with leadership, a lot can happen in every sector. Our own is to continue to pray that Barrister Ware, our friend, our colleague, and our colleague in activism will continue to have more strength, and the government will continue to have more confidence to support him so that the information subsector in Kano will take the lead and become real information subsector. It is not by looking at broadcasters or looking at journalists that you can achieve a name. Allow them. Let them see the difference between sense and nonsense by exposing to the realities of truth. By looking them, you are just going to create heroes out of some people who are nobodies. Let continuous discussion, debates, and deliberations prove that some of them don't even know what they're saying. Some are sponsored. Some are professional blackmailers. And we know that in the era of misinformation and hate speech, all these things are available. So, Barrister Ware, I thank you, and on behalf of the leadership of SNB, we are officially inducting you today into the society for all the good things that you have been doing in the information subsector, as well as for what you have been doing to SNB. You have done far more than anyone as a leader. Yet, you are not even a broadcaster. Yet, you are not even from the communication subsector. But your eminent passion, as well as the experiences you have gathered in civil society activism, prepare you for all of this to prove to the government that communication is strategic in leadership. Democracy without communication is like operating in darkness. Let them continue to invest in their media organizations. Let them continue to invest in the competence of the media personalities in the state. I thank you for that. For BUK, please, the DVC, convey our appreciation to the Vice Chancellor. Tell him we appreciate him, and all of us here will continue to do whatever it takes to promote the name of BUK. I assure you, my term as a Vice Chancellor is ending in February, and I'm coming back to base. And for those of you who may wish to know, we are establishing a brand new Center for Journalism and New Media Studies. The university has approved it, and we have already got some little money, and it will take off, where we are going to run masters and PhD in different aspects of journalism, and bring a lot of resources to do serious research in different dimensions in journalism. Let me even tell you a little about it. Professor Rashid is coming to the center. He has an office. He will be in charge of journalism and language. Professor Jega will be in charge of journalism and politics. And we are operating degrees in that. And I'll be in charge of the overall center. So when the three of us, and so many more that we will be bringing, sit down to operate the center, you know we mean business. Yes, and it's going to be real business. I thank you very much.
It's now been decorated. As you can see, the badge is going to be fixed where it matters. As to say that from today, he has become one of us. Thank you. Administering the oath of taking, as well as in the end we shall have a presentation of a certificate to justify that yes, from today you are a member of this noble profession as a society. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, shall we please put it off for the three gentlemen to be here, led by the president. Please, a round of applause, please, for them.
I, having been found worthy of induction into the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, do solemnly and sincerely pledge that one, I will uphold, promote, and defend the ethical standards, professional values, and noble traditions of the broadcasting profession in Nigeria. Two, I will carry out my duties with honesty, integrity, fairness, and respect for the truth, always placing the public interest above personal gain. Three, I will avoid every form of misconduct, bias, hate speech, misinformation, or any action capable of undermining the credibility and dignity of the broadcast industry. Four, I will adhere strictly to the code of ethics and professional conduct of the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters and comply with all regulatory guidelines governing broadcasting in Nigeria. Five, I make this oath freely and solemnly, pledging to serve as a worthy ambassador of the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters at all times. So help me God. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you are individually and collectively from today are now inducted into the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters with all the benefits and privileges attached, as well as the sanctions that may apply. You are welcome. So please, you sign and then return the form to the secretary.
Tenana. The first with a smiling face. A round of applause, please, for her. Congratulations. Good. Learn to always wear a smiling face. My Lord. Okay. Taking yagi mukafun and Allah, please, so that they will see your face. You heard what I said, Ko? Winter, mana?
Is it a directive?
Sa yana da kyau ai. Tarihi ne a tare da ita. Da mu gaba daya. In ba ka ba. Bintoto. Congratulations. All right. Ina za ki je kuma? Liman nan. Ku riga face it din camera din, please. Bilal ya hankali. Dama ga kaɗan dimurmur da kai. Yawa. Indodo. MD ka riga kallon su ba. Yawa. Baba hukuma. Ma za ka tawo. Inda too quickly. Ki nuna ma masa ki nuna MD. Congratulations. Taskan labarai. Za ka yi bayani.
Zubaida Abubakar Ahmad.
Zubi ba? Quickly. Ta ba hankali.
Bala Nasu, Bala Makosa.
To. Zai baba. Za ka yi bayani. Sa'in yato suka zana ta tinkis. Nan tinki da shi ba.
Maryam Muhammad ya kasai.
Majalisa. A da ko?
Mustapha Mai Kano.
No, still fresh. Akwai inkiya sa. Maryam na. Ki nuna anti, ki nuna MD. Musti ya ne kallon masu kyamara yawwa.
Hajiya Sa'a.
Wow. Ita ce za ta miƙa.
Adamu is okay.
So kada ku manta, from today onwards, Mother Metron.
Murtala Musa.
JB, ka tabbatar ka nuna wa MD ka nuna Sajiya.
Binta Abba ya kasai.
Bintoto.
Mujahid Wada Musa.
Ki je ta kai wa Hajiya fa ta gani Hajiya Binta. Kai wa Hajiya ta gani. Sai ki nuna mata. Yawwa.
Mubarak Usman Ubaye.
To, nan Ubaye kana ina? Da guntun gatarinka? Za ka yi bayani. Da shi aka fara identifying ɗinka.
Saddam Abubakar Ngogo.
Bature kana ina?
Ngogo. Saddam.
Yana nan fa. Ok, yawwa. Bature kana ina ka boya? No? Mr. Festus, sir. Okay. Metro ma ana godiya.
Mohammed Wasilu Kawu. Abdul Ganiyu Zakari Tunga.
Tungar jama'a ko? Ya ce tungar alheri ce.
Abba Ibrahim Gwale.
Ka gwala idanuwanka sosai. Kana ina? Okay. To, sai kira MD Radio. MD Radio Kano.
MD Radio Kano. Shima.
To sai in baka to koma ni zan fito. Bara mu fito. Bara mu fito to.
Abubakar na isa. Kofar na isa. Abubakar kofar na isa. Abdullahi Alkalain. Ko alkali ne?
Alkasin ne sa.
A gashi Alkalain suka rubuta. Akwai mistake.
Za a gyara. Alkasim. Reporter Government House from Hikima Radio. Yeah.
Za a gyara maka. Sai kamar za a gyara. Abdurrahman Balarabe Isa.
Abdul kana ina? Abdul Mesaje ba? Abdul Mesaje.
Abba Ibrahim Gwale.
Abba an kira. Sai ton dina? Yayi.
Musa Yahaya Zakari. Musa Zakari. Alamin Mukhtar. Alamin Mukhtar. Absent. Jamila Alamin Mukhtar absent. Jamila Garba ya kasai. Jamila Garba. Umma Musa Tudun Wada. Tudun Murtala. Tudun Murtala.
Wadda ba ta yi murmushi wa zan ba ta.
Alado. Chidi Ebere. Otegu. Mayowa. Adeyeye. Mayowa. Nanchin Vincent. Nanchin.
Na ganta ita nan. Okay.
Sakir Abubakar. Sakir Mohammed Abubakar. Congratulations. Sakir. Sakir bayana? Ya Sakir.
Gashi ne to.
In ku ba da wannan abu fa sai ka ba da gam. So honorable sir. Ina MD.
MD Radio, please. Amma fa akwai dalla-dalla. Yawwa. Rafi Zikibar. Congratulations, all of you, to invite another working class mother, retired, so adorable to so many, and indeed one of my boss who mentors me also assiduously to be what I am today. Presently, the General Manager one of the private radio stations, Mahasa Radio, Haja Aisha Sule, as the coordinator of the society, to come and say a word of thank you on behalf of the society. Please, a round of applause for her.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. May I stand on the existing protocol, especially as we are rounding up the August event. The Honorable Commissioner, distinguished guests, I feel highly honored to be here, to be the one to thank you, because we can't thank you enough for being here, for adding color to this wonderful event. But we thank God Almighty for making this event a success, because it is already a success, isn't it? Yes. It is a success. From the lecture, I hope we are taking home all the best practices as highlighted by our president. If we put that into practice, we are going to ensure that we have an informed society, and we contribute to that information. So we thank God Almighty for today and for seeing this event. And to Bayero University, Kano, we can't thank you enough, because this is not the first time I'm attending SNB event here, especially in this hall. So the DVCs convey our gratitude, even though our president has already done that, but I'm going to, as a matter of emphasis, to also stress that you convey our gratitude to the Vice Chancellor and the university community for hosting us again and again, because we'll be coming back. Our president, our mentor, because from the day you stepped in as the president of SNB, we all know that things are going to happen, and they've started unfolding. Thank you very much for your mentorship, for your leadership, and for this wonderful event, for coming right from where you are. I know you've been all over. I don't know where you came from. Is it from Kashiri or from, I learned that you were in Switzerland, you were everywhere. So thank you very much for cutting short your visit and being here to host and to steer this event. For the national officers that came from all over, we are also grateful for you. We hope God Almighty will take you back safely to your various destinations. Din na tsallake ka, because I have already thanked the university, so you're included in the in that appreciation. The Dean, Faculty of Communications and Theatre Arts, you have always been an inspiration to us. Our former Commissioner, Professor Umar Farouk Jibril, we are grateful that you are here, and thank you again and again. Former DG ARTV, my mother, my mentor, my. Thank you very much for steering and for giving birth to SNB. You are the matron, you're the grandmother, you're again and again. So thank you, Ma, for you're a source of impression to all of us. Sauran abokanan aiki, my colleagues, my mentors in the profession, mungode for adding color to this wonderful event. Thanks to the state government. Mungode jama'a, mungode. Yan jarida, ya'yana, kuma Allah mai da ku gida lafiya. Thank you.
Yes. All right. As time waits for nobody else, time is on our side. We value what today is. And I always want to say that for those who bring sunshine to brighten others' lives, cannot keep themselves away from the brightness of the sunshine. So it is, and so it was. For anything that has a beginning will surely have an end. That's not the end of an occasion of this nature. That's not the end of our life, but this is just the beginning for those who realize the importance attached to who a broadcast journalist is. On that note, on behalf of the society, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, honorable commissioner, sir, we want to call it a day by inviting the general manager of Moscow Radio to please come and lead us in a closing prayer. Please a round of applause for him. Mohammed Sinusi Jibril, sir, could you make your way here? Yes.
صلوا على النبي بارك على محمد كما باركت على إنك حميد مجيد ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحانك رب العزة عما يصفون سلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين.